Tonight, what really happened at that Trump Tower meeting with Donald Trump Jr. that Democrats say points to collusion. We hear from the Russian lawyer who was there, a Fox News exclusive. But we also have new information tonight on the classified memo detailing alleged abuses by the intelligence community regarding surveillance on Americans, a memo that has produced, as we showed you last night, outrage by Republican House members who've read it, and a hashtag campaign to release that memo publicly. Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge is here with the latest. Good evening, Catherine.
Well, thank you, Brett. After Fox News first reported on the 4-page memo documenting alleged abuses in the government surveillance programs, 115 House Republicans viewed it, but no Democrats.
It's a very succinct, straightforward memo. I think it's something that is really significant. I think that the American people need to see it.
Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee, led by Congressman Devin Nunes, authored the memo that is now available to all lawmakers in the House. Sources tell Fox it grew out of the congressional Russia investigation and focuses on the FBI, Justice Department, surveillance warrants for Americans, as well as the Trump dossier. The committee's ranking Democrat Adam Schiff said the memo leaves out key details and the findings are exaggerated. To what extent the FBI relied on the Trump dossier to secure surveillance warrants for Trump campaign aides is a key question for congressional investigators. And tonight, the Russian lawyer at the heart of the Trump Tower meeting, who was working side by side with the firm behind the dossier for a Russian client, cast doubt on the dossier's credibility.
For me, it's a really unacceptable document.
Via Skype from Moscow, Russian lawyer Natalia Veselnitskaya said the Trump dossier is filled with dirty rumors.
I couldn't read through the end because it's the kind of papers that make you just want to get in the shower after.
Was it a mistake for the FBI to rely on the Trump dossier in any way?
I think that any special agency should check information they receive. But what happened? They couldn't find facts.
Veselnitskaya knows Fusion GPS founder Glenn Simpson well. His firm compiled the Trump dossier. For at least 3 years, he worked for her client, Prevazon, a Russian-owned real estate company, which was sued by the U.S. government over money laundering allegations involving multiple New York City properties. At the same time Simpson was paid for the Prevazon work, his firm also got more than $1 million from the DNC and Clinton campaign for the Trump dossier.
You wrote to us that the memos were a collection of paranoid rumors, and you would expect better work from Glenn Simpson.
I know Glenn and how he can work with information. I can't even use the word dossier for this. It's not a dossier. It's some kind of hodgepodge nonsense.
June 9, 2016 is a critical date. Veselnitskaya had flown to New York City for a Prevazon court hearing, which Simpson also attended. After, she went to Trump Tower, where she met with the president's son-in-law, campaign chairman, at least 2 other Russians, and British publicist Rob Goldstone. Donald Trump Jr. released emails showing Goldstone brokered the meeting, promising dirt on Hillary Clinton.
Do you believe Mr. Goldstone lied to secure the meeting?
I don't think he lied. I think he just exaggerated. I don't know how he came up with this idea, but he decided to use it as a way to get Donald Trump Jr. interested in meeting with me.
Veselnitskaya said the Trump Tower meeting lasted about 15 minutes and focused on the 2012 Magnitsky Act that punishes Russian officials with tough sanctions following the death of Sergei Magnitsky in a Russian prison. Magnitsky worked with American businessman Bill Browder to expose a $230 million fraud. Putin retaliated, blocking adoptions to American families.
My meeting was not tied at all with Hillary Clinton or anyone involved with any Democrats.
Browder testified under oath last summer.
Has she ever worked directly for the Russian government?
Yes, she has. She has worked directly for the.
When and where?
She's worked for the FSB. The FSB being the successor organization to the KGB.
The Democratic bloc insists that I was some kind of an agent of the Kremlin, a spy, and so forth, a Kremlin lawyer.
I did not collude with Russia.
The president's son-in-law barely attended, according to her account.
He came after the start of the meeting and left before it ended, so we didn't even look each other in the eye.
And her contact with the president's daughter Ivanka is overblown.
There was a girl, a pretty blonde, who walked through the elevator bank. Was she Ivanka Trump? Was she just a pretty young lady? I don't know. I didn't meet or talk with her.
Though she has direct knowledge of the Trump Tower meeting, Veselnitskaya told Fox special counsel Robert Mueller has not yet contacted her, Brett.
Wow, interesting. Catherine, thank you.
We now know that the contested Trump file was paid for partly by the DNC and the Clinton campaign, but Hillary Clinton says she didn't know about it. The CEO of the Human Rights Foundation, he appeared on this show last night. He says he, too, was smeared by this outfit behind the anti-Trump file.
Calling them a research firm, I think, is a little bit of a stretch. These are smear artists. Fusion GPS earns the bulk of their money. Their largest payments come from criminal entities that are under a criminal investigation in the United States by prosecutors or law enforcement. And what they've learned is if you want to kill an investigation, if you want to destroy a law enforcement investigation, go after the witnesses, go after the whistleblowers. Fusion GPS isn't just sending research. They're also paying journalists. They're also engaging in payola when it comes to these sorts of things. Because I have the evidence that Ken Silverstein received funds from one of the partners of Fusion GPS, from Peter Fritsch.
Joining me now, economist and author of the book, you got to buy it. It's called The Capitalist Code. Look who's here, Ben Stein, in person.
Honored to be here in person.
So excited you're here, Ben. Hillary Clinton says she didn't know about this work by Fusion. What do you think? Do you believe her?
Of course I don't believe her. I mean, of course she was the boss. She was the head of the campaign. Of course I don't believe her. She knew about it. She knew who was paying for it. She knew they were paying for it. They knew it was a hatchet job. They knew it was going to somehow, in some way or another, come back to haunt Trump. And now they've managed to do this incredible jujitsu thing in which they got that moron Mueller to, well, I shouldn't say that nice person, Mr. Mueller, to act as if the Russians were manipulating Trump and Trump was manipulating the Russians, when all the while it was the Democrats doing every bit of it to attack Trump and make it look like Trump was a Russian stooge. I mean, they managed to muddy the waters on this completely, and the media bought it hook, line, and sinker. It was like there's this alliance on the one hand between leading Democrats, leading law enforcement officials, and the media, all to smear Trump. And he won anyway.
And, you know, the Kremlin has been known to split the difference, to play both sides of the political aisle, to destabilize. It's what they've done in the Ukraine and other countries for decades. Here's former FBI Assistant Director James Kallstrom last night. Let's have Ben weigh in on this sound.
This whole story gets murkier, dirtier, filthier. The swamp gets deeper, and the animals in there are uglier. I mean, this is just unbelievable. The question is, what is in that affidavit? You know, if that affidavit is the basis is that salacious, you know, crap that was put together by that GPS firm, and if that's the probable cause or the nuggets of probable cause, you know, that's something the Intelligence Committee has to get a look at.
What do you think, Ben?
I think that you're being too generous to say that the Russians are splitting the difference. I think the Russians knew that they didn't want to have any problems with the American administration, no matter what, so they would just get everything all screwed up and make it look as if American politics didn't work. Well, maybe that actually is splitting the difference. Made it look as if American politics didn't work. Made it look as if the whole system was a hodgepodge, and just nothing good came out of it from the United States whatsoever. And the amazing thing is that Mueller and the FBI and all these people, Comey, bought every single bit of it, and the media bought every single bit of it. The mainstream media bought every single bit of it, and they jumped in and said, oh, Trump, Russian agent, Trump, Russian agent, Trump, Russian agent, when in fact, really, it was the Democrats who were manipulating the whole thing. Why aren't they saying that the Democrats were Russian agents? Why are they holding back on that?
Yeah, and could have led to spying at Trump Tower. Who knows? Well, they're at the bottom of it, right?
Trump said a long time ago, they were listening to me at Trump Towers, and everyone laughed at him and said, oh, he's a paranoid maniac. He turned out to be completely right.
We want to switch gears to get to your new book. Now, I wonder if universities across the country are going to buy Ben Stein's book and make it a must-read about capitalism in their classes. Basically, Bernie Sanders and liberal college professors hate capitalism, but you,
well, they say they hate.
They say they hate. You say it's not the rigged system young people are led to believe, right?
Not at all. It's a system which any American, any person, anywhere, any Mexican, any Salvadoran can buy stock, attach himself or herself to the mighty engine of the capitalist power and capitalist profits, and essentially become a business owner. It would be nice if you or I...
You're saying any person from any country. Is that what you meant by what you just said?
Any country can buy stock in the United States of America or in any... most other capitalist countries. You can become essentially the owner of a business, like owning a Cadillac dealership or owning a Chrysler dealership or owning an oil well. But you can do it just by little increments, month by month, buying stock, and the stock gradually becomes the equivalent of your owning your own business, and you become what my sister calls pre-dad, which is to say that you didn't, you're not pre-med or pre-law, but you're pre-dad. You inherited a business. Only you create the inheritance yourself by creating a business, and that business consists of the stock ownership. No fuss, no muss, no liability if it fails, no tenants flooding your apartment with the water beds that don't work. It's an easy, clean way to become a business owner and have money coming in when you're old.
Have you heard from any university or colleges who want to teach you anything from your book, or have you speak about your book? Nothing yet.
I won't hear from them. Although I'm supposed to speak at one in Youngstown, Ohio, but we'll see how that goes.
Well, we're trying to cover that and maybe get you on to talk about it. Ben Stein, we love you. Thanks so much for coming on. Author of the book, The Capitalist Code. You got to go buy it. It's a great read.